Hey everybody, I'm Christina Madison with Rolling Oaks Yoga, and today I am bringing you a short 30-minute class all about your hamstrings. So I know a lot of people out there have very tight hamstrings. I know I do, and so I have to be very proactive about doing hamstring stretches and protecting my hamstrings to prevent them from injury and from just tightening up and really being tight along the backside of my body. So this class is going to be all about strengthening and stretching your hamstrings in your posterior chain. So without further ado, let's get started. The only prop that you're going to probably need today is a strap. If you don't have a strap, no big deal. You can grab a rolled up towel or blanket. You can grab a dog leash, a belt, anything that you have around the house that is long and will help you kind of reach your leg. So we are going to get started on our backs. Have your strap nearby so that you can reach it with your hand, and go ahead and come down to lay on your back. Straighten out both legs and kind of give yourself a little opportunity to kind of just land in your body. If having your legs straight out is irritating to your low back, you can take the knees as wide as your mat and take your feet as wide as your mat and your knees together. And let's just take a few moments to just arrive on our mats, to get our minds settled and to just breathe. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, drawing breath into the body, and exhaling all the air out. Just taking this opportunity to just be present and to let go of whatever you have left to accomplish today, any to-do lists, any worries about tomorrow or the next day. And also just letting go the past, the events of today or yesterday or last week or a year ago that you still find yourself dwelling on. Just let them all go for now. And let the body and the mind be present in the moment of now. Focusing the attention on the breath, the sensation or the sound of the breath. Take a nice long deep breath all the way into the body, filling the belly, the chest, all the way up under the collarbones with breath. And exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Let's do that again, filling the torso up with breath. Inhaling all the way, front to back, side to side, diagonal, filling the torso up with breath. Exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. One more time. Inhale the breath, filling up the body, filling up the belly and the chest. Exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. Good. So now, straighten the left leg along your mat and draw the right knee into the chest, pulling it in towards the chest, keeping the left leg active, left toes lift towards the ceiling. And then we're going to do a half happy baby. So if you're familiar with happy baby, where we hold the outside edges of our feet, we're going to do that for just the right side for right now. So grabbing the outside edge of the right foot. If you can't reach the outside edge of your right foot, you can always use your handy dandy strap or just grab the knee or the ankle. So you'll see here, I have the strap. And we're going to pull that right knee towards the right armpit, working into the upper hamstring, the glute, the inner thigh muscles. Just breathing here, breathing into sensation. find that your mind tends to wander in these long holds, that's totally fine. No need to judge yourself or be hard on yourself. Just acknowledge that the mind is wandering and come back to the breath. Let's take one more big deep breath here, filling the belly all the way, filling the chest all the way up underneath the collarbones. Sigh it out. Good, let's switch legs. So slowly release the right leg down to the mat and switch legs, drawing the left knee up towards the chest, hugging the right knee in, or the left knee in, excuse me. And then as you're ready, grabbing the outside edge of the left foot or using your strap or holding the ankle or shin, whatever works for you, and begin to draw that left knee towards the left armpit. Feeling the stretch. Finding your edge, wherever that may be. And if you start to feel pain or numbness or tingling in this pose, then you probably need to back off just a little bit. We want to feel sensation and not pain. Let's take one more big deep breath here, inhaling all the way. Exhale, sigh it out. Good. And you can release the left leg. We're going to come back to the right leg. This time you probably definitely need your strap. So I'm going to wrap my strap around the arch of my right foot. And we're going to do this cool little thing. And this may not work if you're using a rolled up towel, but if you have a strap, then we're just going to begin to kind of start to rub the strap back and forth along the foot, along the arch and the heel and the ball, even the toes, kind of giving ourselves a little foot massage. And then we're going to let the strap settle on the arch of the foot. And we're going to grab one strap in each hand. And we're going to bend the knee of our right leg. Left leg is still active. And I want you to provide yourself some resistance. So without really pulling the shoulders up to the ears, you just want to really kind of pull down on that strap a little bit to give yourself some resistance to push against. Because what we're going to do is we're going to inhale to bend the knee and then exhale to extend the leg almost all the way. So 90%. So the only thing we're not doing is locking our knee. Inhale to re-bend the knee, pulling it in, and then exhale, push against the strap. You may feel a little bit of trembling in your leg. That's good. We want that. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, press the foot into the strap, almost all the way straight, but not quite. Inhale, bend. Exhale, push into the strap. Get that little bit of trembling in the leg. We're building charge in the leg right now. Inhale to bend and exhale to press. Last time, inhale to bend, exhale to press. And this time we're going to hold the legs straight. So we want to bring our foot as close to right over the right hip as we can. So you don't want your foot way up here above your head. If you have super tight hamstrings, it's okay to bend the knee a little bit, and it's okay to have the foot a little bit lower than the hip. We just want to make sure we're feeling a nice stretch along this hamstring, maybe the calf. Breathing into sensation, backing off if you feel pain. Making sure you're not drawing the shoulders up to the ears, creating tension in the traps, unhinging the jaw. Good, and then we're going to take both straps into the right hand, and you take the left hand alongside you for balance into a T shape or a cactus arm. And we're going to begin to very, very, very slowly open that right leg out to the right. Stopping as soon as you start to feel like you've gone a little bit too far. We really want to protect the muscles and ligaments here, not overstretching. Breathing into the sensation. keeping the left leg active, pressing the left thigh down towards the mat. And now I want you to take your right sit bone and lengthen it towards the short end of the mat. So actually like take the tailbone and the right sit bone or the bottom of the right hip and lengthen them down towards the left foot. And you're probably going to feel a little bit of an intensifying of that stretch. Making sure we're keeping the spine in proper alignment here, the lumbar spine, maintaining the natural curve. And then very, very slowly, we're going to begin to draw that right leg back towards the center. Nice and slow. And we're going to switch the strap into the left hand. Take the right hand out at your sides. And you're going to begin to take the right leg to the left now. As far as you can comfortably go. You may find that you feel a nice stretch just with the right foot right over the left hip. You may feel like you need to come a little bit further. Or you can bring it all the way down if you have the ability to do so. Breathing into that sensation, breathing in to the right IT band, the right hip, and then again, take that right sitting bone and your tailbone and lengthen it towards the bottom of the mat. Whew. Now that created a big difference for me. Keeping that left leg active, left toes lifted. Breathe into it. Breathe into the stretch. Find your edge. Back off if you need to. And then slowly bring that right leg back to center. And you can slowly lower it down. And we're going to switch legs. So I'm going to step my left leg into the strap. Step the right leg out. Begin to lift the left leg high to the sky, and I'm going to do the same thing on the left side. So kind of pulling my strap back and forth, massaging the sole of my foot, the toes, the ball, the arch, the heel, just building a little bit of energy and a little bit of heat. And now we're going to build a little bit of charge in the legs. So like we did before, we're going to inhale to bend the knee, create some resistance, so make it a little bit challenging for yourself. And then exhale to begin to press the left foot into the strap, almost straightening the leg like 90%, but keeping that knee slightly bent. Inhale to release. And then exhaling to press into the strap. Keeping that right leg active, right toes lifted. Good, a little trembling is good. It means we're building charge. Inhale to bend. Exhale to press the right foot into the left foot into the strap. At the same time, pulling the strap towards your chest. Inhale to bend. Exhale to press. A little trembling here. Should be doing a lot of work here. Inhale to bend, exhale to press. We'll do it one more time. Inhale to bend, exhale to press. And then we'll hold. Holding into this hamstring stretch. Bending the knee generously here if you need to for tight hamstrings. Decreasing the angle if you need to. Keeping a micro bend in the knee, especially for you hyperextenders, the super flexible people. Keeping that micro bend in there to protect the knee joint. One more deep breath here. Fill up the body with breath. Exhale, sigh it out. Good. Take both straps into your left hand. Take the right arm out to the side. I'm going to scooch over a little bit to give myself a little bit more room. And then begin to open that left leg out to the left. I don't have the space to do so, but just open your leg as far as you can out to the left where you feel a stretch. You feel a nice sensation, but no pain. Right leg stays active, right toes stay lifted. And then taking your left sitting bone and your left tailbone, lengthen them down towards the mat, towards the bottom of the mat, lengthen them towards that right foot. And that'll increase the stretch, increase the sensation, bringing the lumbar curve into a natural alignment. And then very slowly begin to draw the left leg back towards center, taking both straps into the right hand now, taking the left arm out to the side, and then begin to bring the left leg across the body. Nice and slow. And if you want to bring the leg all the way, this is probably cutting off in the video, but you can. Let me see if I can scooch over so you can see. So bringing the left leg all the way across the body, that means you'll roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. And same thing as before, take the left sitting bone and the tailbone and lengthen it down towards the bottom of the mat. Get a little bit of a twist in here. And you don't have to do this, you can totally stay just right here. Just find what works for you, find what feels good in your body. We'll take one more big deep breath here, inhaling all the way. Exhale, side out through the mouth. Good, and slowly bring the right leg back to center. And begin to lower the right leg down towards the mat. Very good. You can unhook the strap and set it off to the side. And then we are going to slowly come up to seated. So maybe taking a little rock and come all the way up. And we're going to transition onto all fours. So your tabletop. So knees directly under hips, wrists directly under shoulders. If you have wrist pain here, you can bring the hands a little bit in front of the shoulders to decrease the angle of the wrists. So what we're going to do here is we're going to first lift the left leg out behind us. And you can start with the toes touching. And then we're going to begin to lift the left leg into the air, pressing into both hands equally. Fingers are nice and wide, keeping the hips square down towards the mat. And we're going to really reach that left leg back behind us. We're just going to breathe here, drawing the belly in, drawing the belly button towards the spine, lengthening through the spine, reaching crown of head forward and the tailbone back. And then if you like, add a little pulse to that left leg, just a little one, lifting that left heel up towards the ceiling, working on engaging the hamstring here, building a little bit of strength in the hamstring and the glute, reaching strongly back through that left heel, keeping the left foot flexed. 3, 2, 1. Exhale the left knee back down to the mat. And we'll do the other side. So begin to straighten the right leg back behind you, starting with the toes down on the mat. And then slowly keeping that right foot flexed, bring the right leg into the air. You don't have to come parallel. You can have it down here, especially if you feel any tightness in the lower back. So for now, we're just going to keep it stretched and lengthened, lengthening the tailbone back behind you, reaching the crown of head forward, pressing the floor away. Good. Keep breathing here. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Keep the abdominals engaged. And then if you like, adding that little pulse. Keep breathing. The pulses don't have to be fast. We want them to be nice and controlled. Good. Keeping the lower belly engaged and drawn in for 3, 2, 1. Exhale the right knee down to the mat. Good. Whew. You feel a little stretch there. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lengthen that left leg back, but this time we're going to do some stretching. So we're actually going to press into the ball of the left foot. It might make it a little bit easier if you walk the hands forward here. And we're going to really stretch into the left calf, the left hamstring, the left foot. So we're actually pressing through the hands to kind of press ourselves back into this stretch. Keeping the belly drawn in, pressing into the hands, relaxing any tension in the face or the jaw, and lowering the left knee back down to the mat. Let's do the other side. So stretch that right leg back, tuck the toes under, and then press yourself back into the stretch. So hopefully you feel a nice stretching through the calf, through the bottom of the right foot, right hamstring. Breathing here. Draw the belly in. Press back through the right heel. Reach the crown of head forward. Exhale the right knee down to the mat. Good, so tucking both toes under now, pressing into the hands. We're going to come into downward facing dog. So begin to press into the balls of the feet, lifting the hips up off the ground, high to the sky, bending the knees generously here for this first one. Even if you can have the legs straight in downward facing dog, go ahead and just practice bending them this time around. So as you bend the knees, lift the hips high, high, high to the sky, pressing the chest back towards the tops of the thighs, pressing into both hands equally. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Bring the ears in line with the biceps. Let the head hang heavy, find length in the spine. And very slowly, we're going to start to walk the feet towards the hands. And we're going to hang out here in our full fold. So again, bending the knees generously here, especially if you have tight hamstrings. And you're just going to let yourself hang here in this forward fold. So maybe you want to hold on to opposite elbows. We're just going to melt here into this forward fold. Draping the upper body over the thighs. And letting the head hang heavy like a bowling ball, reaching the crown of head down towards the floor. Maybe swaying a little bit here if that feels good in your body. If not, you can just stay centered. Then find stillness, come back to center. Release the arms if you had them held. And we're going to begin to very slowly roll the body up, pressing into the heels, vertebrae by vertebrae, beginning to stack the spine over itself. And the very last thing to come up is the head, rolling the shoulders back and down, standing tall, finding your mountain pose here. Just taking this opportunity to take a few breaths, pressing down through the feet, pressing through the core of your legs, hugging the muscles against the bones, lengthening up through the sides of the waist, finding length in the spine, reaching the crown of head up as we press down through the feet, creating length and extension in the body. Broadening through the collarbones, relaxing the shoulders down and back. Unclenching the jaw, relaxing the face. Good. And if you're not already there, go ahead and come to the front of your mat, facing towards the short end of the mat, feet or hips width apart. Inhale, sweep the arms down, around and up, reach up, look up. And as you exhale, lengthen through the spine, swan dive forward into your full fold. Inhale to your half lift, hands come to shins, bringing the spine parallel to the ceiling. Exhale, Release into your full fold, letting the head hang heavy. Inhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step the feet back into your plank. Draw the belly in, press the floor away. Hold it for one more breath. Exhale the knees down to the mat. Keeping the elbows hugged in towards the ribs, we're going to come into a modified chaturanga. So keeping the belly pulled in, slowly lower the chest down to the mat. Good. And then inhale, the hands are underneath the shoulders. Press into a cobra as far as your body feels comfortable going. Exhale the body back down. Inhale to press to tabletop, or inhale, tuck the toes, reverse push-up. Everybody lifts the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Now, as far as getting into our lunge, you can lower the knees down to the mat and then step the left foot through in between the hands. Or from downward facing dog, you can draw the knee in towards the chest, in towards the nose, coming into your plank position, and then step the left foot through in between the hands. Lowering the right knee down to the ground if it was up, and then we're going to come into our low lunge. So we can leave the hands down here on the mat. We can walk the hands up onto the left thigh, making sure our feet and our legs are hips width apart, bringing the front knee directly over the left ankle, tracking over the midline of the foot. And as you're ready, you can add the arms for a low lunge. Inhaling to find length. Exhale, draw the belly in. Reaching the crown of head up towards the ceiling. Drawing the inner thighs toward each other. And then on your exhale, taking the hands down to the mat, and we're going to press the hips back to come into a hamstring stretch here. So lift those left toes up towards the ceiling. You can keep the hips lifted, or you can sit the hips all the way down on your right heel. Whatever works for you, find what feels good. I'm going to keep my hips lifted because I feel like that gives me a little bit of a stronger stretch here. Keeping length in your spine. Keeping the left toes lifted. If you tend to be a hyperextender, put a micro bend in your left knee. So instead of having that knee locked, the knee joint locked like you see it is here, put a little bend in that knee. Okay? Good. And then rock forward to come back into your low lunge. Tuck the left toes under. Lift the right toes under, lift the right knee up off the ground, step the feet back into plank, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So same thing on the other side. If you would like to use tabletop to transition, you can lower down to the knees and then step the right foot through in between the hands. If you would like to start from downward facing dog, you can begin to bring the shoulders over the wrists, drawing the right knee in towards the chest, and then step the right foot through into your lunge. Lower the left knee down. Bring the torso up. You can leave the hands down on the mat or walk the hands up onto the right thigh, right knee over right ankle, tracking over the second and third toe. Good. Find your balance. Find your steadiness. If you're a little bit wobbly here, you can try to take your stance a little bit wider. So heel toe that right foot out towards the side of the mat more. And then as you're ready, you can add the arms coming into your low lunge. Deep breath here. Reaching up through the fingertips, lengthening the tailbone down. Soften the tops of your shoulders away from the ears. Scissor the inner thighs toward each other energetically. And on your exhale, take the hands down to the mat. Press the hips back into your hamstring stretch. Lifting the right toes up towards the ceiling. Again, putting a micro bend in the knee. If you tend to lock that knee or be a hyperextender. feeling this stretch, feeling the sensation, breathing into it. On your next inhale, pressing the hips back forward to your low lunge. You can step back to your tabletop, or you can tuck the left toes under, coming into a high lunge. Step the right foot back, either to plank or to return to your tabletop. Everybody lifts the hips up and back for downward facing dog. So for this downward facing dog, I want you to play with taking the feet as wide as your mat here. And notice how this changes the stretch in your body. So notice how that feels different from the downward dog you did before. Still pressing into the hands, rooting down into the base of each finger. Still pressing the chest back towards the thighs. Lengthening the head towards the mat and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. So for me, I feel this stretch more on my outer calf, my outer shin. I still feel it in my hamstrings, and I'm able to get my legs straight, which I'm normally not able to do in downward facing dog. So just take note of your own experience and how you're feeling here in this pose. And as you're ready, taking feet back to hips width apart, lowering the knees down to the mat. Taking the knees wide, big toes together, sit the hips back in child's pose. Few breaths here. On your next inhale, press back up to your tabletop, and you're going to cross the ankles and sit the hips back to come to seated. And now we're going to come into Janu Sirsasana, or head to knee pose, another nice hamstring stretch. So we're going to take the left leg straight and the sole of the right foot into the left thigh. We're going to turn our torso towards that left leg. We're going to inhale to find lots of length in the spine, and then once you have nice long spine, you can begin to walk the hands forward towards the left toes. You can also use your strap here, another great opportunity to utilize this prop around the sole of the foot. So like if you can't reach the toes, a strap is a great option. Or if you can reach the toes and maybe just want to try using a strap to see how that changes things. So we want to keep our spine nice and long here, reaching the crown of head forward towards your toes, making sure that right thigh is active. So pressing the top of the left thigh down into the mat. And then as you hang out in this pose, you may find that you get to the point where you're able to move as far into the pose as where you can grab the toes. Sometimes I like to take my right hand across the body and kind of use it to help me turn more towards the left leg. Again, if you're a hyperextender, try to put a micro bend in your left knee here. And then as you're ready, we're going to walk the hands back towards the body to sit up. And now we're going to come into a revolved version of the same pose. So I'm actually going to face the other way so you can see what this looks like. So option 1 is to take the arm on the inside of the left shin, and as you begin to lengthen the body down, so kind of hinging forward towards that left leg, we're going to sweep the right arm up and over. And what we want to avoid here is collapsing through the shoulder to try to reach the right toes or the left toes with the right hand. So instead, you want to focus more on spiraling the right shoulder up towards the ceiling and finding length in the spine. So making sure you're lengthening through both sides of your waist equally. So another option here, if you're like, I am so mad that I can't reach my toes, well, use your strap. So I'm going to Do the same thing, taking my left arm along my left shin, and then I'm going to use the strap to help me reach more towards the right toes while still spiraling my right shoulder up towards the sky. And again, you want to respect your limitations here, respect your edge. So find sensation, but if you begin to feel pain or like you're stretching too far, then you can back off. You don't have to use your strap here. You can just kind of let the left or right hand hang. And if you can reach your toes, awesome. Reach your toes. I can't. No big deal. On your next inhale, we're going to come back up nice and slow. And then we're going to switch legs. So I'll turn the other way. So we're going to straighten the right leg this time. Take the sole of the left foot into the right thigh. Turn the body towards the right toes and begin to walk the hands forward, lengthening the torso over your right leg. Again, using a strap here if you like. Inhaling to find more length. Exhale, draw the belly in. See if you can explore the pose a little bit more. See if you can get a little bit deeper. If not, no big deal. Reaching the heart and the crown of the head forward towards those right toes. Keeping the right toes lifted. The bottom of the right foot flexed. On the next inhale, begin to walk the hands back up, and then we'll take the revolved version of the pose. So lengthening the right forearm along the inside of the right shin. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and over, this time spiraling the left shoulder up towards the ceiling. Again, maybe trying your strap out here. See how that feels for you. Staying broad through the chest, widening through your collarbones, lengthening through both sides of the waist evenly, breathing into the left side body, feeling that nice stretch through the left ribs, through the left side, the obliques, the quadratus lumborum. So not only are you getting a hamstring stretch here, but you're getting a whole left side body stretch. And the more you rotate that left shoulder up towards the ceiling, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. One more deep inhale. Exhale all the way. And then on the next inhale, releasing the strap and coming back up. Awesome job. If you would like to take a Shavasana here, I highly encourage you to do so. And I hope you enjoyed this stretch. I hope your hamstrings feel amazing and a little bit more loose than when you started. If you do take a Shavasana, just take that opportunity to check in with your body, see how you feel different from when you started the class. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.